Coach, I guess you compare and contrast the energy you guys had at practice before this break, the last few days you had here down in South Florida?
Yeah, I think anytime you leave your facility, there's an acclimation to it. But I think our guys responded well. I think they were really good on our Tuesday practice. Thought we had a great couple days there in Tallahassee, and then to give them the Christmas break, traveled down here on Christmas night. Next morning we woke up, good meetings, good practice. We're very much on our weekly schedule at this point. I thought our guys have done a really nice job.
You guys preach response opportunity. What is this opportunity like for you guys, and what's the response for overall?
Well, it's the last game of this season, and a season that's been, a 13-0 season, and our guys have done everything we've asked them to do to this point. And just to have it finish out in a venue like this against a well-respected opponent, it's a great opportunity, and I think our guys feel that they want to finish the season the right way, and it's been a balance of us trying to make sure they understand how proud we are that they've got us to this point, but now we've got another game and another opportunity to take advantage of. So just that's been really the message, and our guys, I got no question that they'll do it the right way because they've done it the entire season. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a really efficient passer. I mean, you just look at the numbers, and having them being in a different league and really had never really competed against them before. I believe Coach Bobo was at Colorado State when I was at Marshall, and we played him in a bowl game. But just having a sense of what you think it's going to be, but not really sure. And then when you go and watch just the efficiency that he's been, and their third down numbers, I mean, their second and long numbers, their third down numbers, the balls, they're throwing the football. And, people want to, they've got a real veteran offensive line. They've done a good job in the run game, but they've really scored points at the efficiency of the throw game. And their third down numbers is as good as anybody in the country. And I think what he does a really good job of, too, that he probably doesn't give a lot of credit of, I don't think he's a runner, but his ability to scramble and scramble for first down, scramble for positive yards. I mean, he's a big, great delivery, good accuracy. He's had an excellent season for them. Well, they protect the quarterback. One, I think they've only given up, they're probably in the top 5 in the country giving up sacks. So do that. Don't give up negatives. Get the ball thrown by an accurate passer, so you're protecting them. And then you got good receivers. You've had a great tight end, and you put that together, and that's why their numbers are so good. Oh, you guys are rolling this morning.
When you guys have some of the question marks in terms of opt-outs, how do you go to compare your unit or whatever, I guess, ingredients you may have to go with?
Yeah, it's not even a question. I mean, this is football. Every week, this guy's practicing. Will he be able to play in the game? Not sure. An opponent, that quarterback could be out. It's just it's part of the magic of coaching this sport. There's so many pieces constantly. Special teams, offense, defense. It just, I'm not trying to minimize what's happening down here and what's happening now in college football, but it just, you don't want to say next man up mentality because that's the label that we put to this whole thing, right? But you're getting ready for this game in January, in September, and the investment into the players that it's their turn didn't start last week. It started when they arrived. And I think as coaches, you need to have that mentality daily. You can say, wow, I got these 5 DBs, I got these 3 linebackers, and they're really, really good. Well, what about the next one? Well, he's not playing yet. But if you're failing him today, he's not going to be ready for his opportunity tomorrow. And so I think as a coach, you're constantly trying to work that battle of everybody just wants to be okay. Everybody wants to look at their team and say, man, I got a great 11, I got a great 12. We're going to be great this game. Well, what about the guys that are the next 11? Like, you owe it to them to make sure that you push, have a standard of excellence, make sure they're improving daily, creating those habits for them. So then when the moment comes, it's not, oh, you got to react and the kid's looking at you like, why is it so urgent now? It's been urgent since the day they walked on campus. I think that's why we've been so consistent as a program. I mean, I've been excited for those guys the whole time, and there were some games that Conrad, you brought up, he went into a game as the third guy, and he was going in the third series or the second series. So, I mean, that's been building, and who's to say, as we were going in this week, that he wouldn't have gotten that playing time anyways, what I mean? There's so much time from the last game to this game. It's a whole new competition, and guys have risen up to those. Now, some get better because the opportunity comes before the work. That happens usually with injuries or somebody goes down and a guy goes in. You're like, wow, I didn't see that. Most of the time, for length of success down the road, you see it before it happens. And I think that's what we've been able to do. It didn't happen here year 1 and 2. We were putting guys in. But now we're getting to the point with an Omar Graham, with those guys that their practice has gotten to a high level. And then their opportunity in the games have gotten into a minimal level and then have grown, and then they continue to get better, and now their opportunity explodes. I think we've seen that with Shaheem Brown. I mean, he's a great example of that. He basically redshirted his freshman year when Kevin Noles played a lot. And then the next year, we forced him into the third safety rotation in our dime stuff. Then this year, he became a full-time starter, and now I think he's an all-ACC type player. It's funny, I said to JP and Odell just yesterday, we're watching on practice, and I'm like, this guy is so skilled. When I sit there and we're down at Nova Southeastern practice, on a Wednesday morning, and we're working on a third down thing, and he's got a rush on a scout team player, and you just see the athleticism, and he's just being in the system now and watching him develop and grow. I mean, he's a special talent. I mean, he really is. I mean, he's done great things, here in the last couple of years for us, and we've had some great ones next to him. But independently, I mean, he's a special player, and he's got an uncanny ability to make plays on the ball. I think his sack numbers are there, but they're coming. But I think where he's really grown is his impact on first and second down too. So, Pat's a leader for us. It's important for him to continue to grow and develop, and just watching him through these weeks of bowl prep, I see it.
How does an 18-year-old kid become 20 years old and find that? And you guys scouting, evaluating at such a small frame of size, hoping that he'll be able to play this way. How do you kind of know? Where's the things you see early on that makes you think grower where you kind of know still play?
Yeah, a couple questions. I'm going to go to the second one first. But you are a multi-layered human, and I respect that. Watching him in high school and seeing him in his senior year at Northwestern, and just watching, obviously the competition was really good. He played really hard. He played with really low pad level for a big, long player. That was the COVID year, so we really never saw him. So you're like, well, how skinny is he? What is this? What is that? But at the end of the day, I do know this. They always get bigger. They always get bigger. What they don't get is more athletic. What they don't get is better knee bend, better burst sometimes. So when we took that, I don't want to say chance, but when we said yes to Pat and got him here, he fit in the program, and he just kind of went through it. And he's had some down times where it's been really hard for him, and he didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then there's been times that he's dominated football games. And to see what we saw on film 3 or 4 years ago, to see what it is now, and honestly, where it can still go. Because his improvement on first and second down was significant this year. I think we've started to see the third down production over the last couple years. That will just get better. But I mean, he is so long and so athletic and so smart. I think those are the reasons why he's gotten better, because he's taken to the coaching because he sees the value of it. And I think we have 2 of the best defensive line coaches in the country. JP and Odell do a tremendous job with that entire group. And, Pat's really emerged as one of those guys, and there'll be more on the way.
He's that guy you want coming off the bus first, but has a good head on his shoulders, seemingly has a good skill set. I mean, he wasn't as much of I'll call it Patrick Campbell out of it. He had everything you wanted coming straight out of high school. You guys are still molding him. What is he going to grow into?
He was another one that we signed out of Niceville, and has already played as a true freshman. And he was really still an athlete in high school. Nobody would say he was a wide receiver. He was a safety, corner, returner, a little bit of everything. When we invested in him as a true freshman, he gave us good snaps. I mean, he played a good amount of snaps as a true freshman, including that bowl game against Oklahoma. But this year, I mean, I thought we had 3 starting corners, to be honest with you, and the way it played. And I thought our staff did a really good job this summer helping me out and saying, let's put AZ as the dime. We thought we had some good corners in Ventrell and Renardo. We knew AZ was going to play, but it cemented a role, kind of like what we did the year before when we said, Jamie's the dime, Shaheem is now the starting safety on third down. So it gave them a role. Knowing they'll play in the flow of the game anyways, I thought that really helped him because it gave him a cemented role, and then it built his confidence. And his on-the-ball play this year was tremendous. When that ball was thrown his way, I mean, his ball production. Obviously we'd like to have some more picks and interceptions. I think those are coming for him, but his ability to make plays on the ball were, as good as anybody in the country, I think. And so, to see him really make those strides, his competitive nature, his confidence, have just continued to explode. And, he's helped us tremendously this year, and he was a key part to this defense and this championship team.
How do you go about trying to create a growth plan for a guy like that who's played so much football as he did on?
Well, I think Aslan, he would tell you, his production at Western Michigan was great. He was a tremendous player. The effort, they did a great job coaching him. But I think when he made this step, part of the step was he wanted to compete against the best. He wanted to have to improve his technique, because if I play against somebody and I'm at a level far superior than them with my traits and my skills, sometimes my game doesn't have to be super clean. Now, he's got the personality that he can be critical of himself after those games, but he would still get away with it. So the urgency to improve, even though he probably wanted to because of who he was, it wasn't forced to. Here, early on, I see it. I'm still making my plays, but now I hear Coach Odell, I hear Coach JP, I hear them coaching me, but I now see it, and I'm not as effective. So just him, I'll make it simple. His hand placement and how he played with his hands wasn't where he needed to be in order for him to play against the top-level teams in the country. So I think, and that takes a lot of work. I know, just use them then. Got it. But, I think that's why you've seen his production explode as the season went on. Not because he wanted to be better. Braden Fisk was built like this before we got him. He's just smart enough to understand what he needed, listen to the coaching, and then applied it daily, constantly. And, he chose us because of the way we play too. He knew this would be a front, a structure defensively that he would be able to thrive in, and he would see the value of the technique, the production of what we've had, and if he just applied it, he would come on. I think, he was part of a championship team.
When you look at the guys that are brought into the transfer market, I guess what do you think? 3 things that we can share. What does that say about your program when you get those kind of guys? You want to continue their careers, you want to grow and develop?
I think it's a credit to Coach Norvell. It's a credit to our evaluating team, just because everybody wants to look at the end. I think it all starts with the right evaluation at the beginning and knowing what fits your program, your culture, your scheme, your needs, because it's got to be a fit, right? So you got to bring in the right type of person first. I think we overlook that sometimes. The evaluation process, the reason why these guys are having so much success is because I think at the front end, we're evaluating it correctly and we're bringing in the right fits. Then when they get here, we're usually right with who they were and what they were. And now we've really set the market of okay, now this is works, and now we've got to go put the structure in place. Then you got to go work that plan, and then usually we're getting the results that we've gotten. And I think when you bring guys in, it's got to fit for them and for you, right? And so when you bring them in and they see what you've said is the right thing, then there's a foundation of trust. And once there's trust, there's unwilling work just to go. There's not guys looking around, well, I haven't been here. What they told me isn't really what it is. this isn't really the role I anticipated. They just told me what they wanted me to hear. And you see that all over the country. And that's why maybe you see somebody that's really productive. Then they go to a place and like, why isn't he, we thought this was going to be a great fit. Why isn't it? Sometimes it's not just because the kid isn't as good as we thought he was. Sometimes just the fit wasn't great. And that's why at the front end, knowing what that is, and then when you get them there, sticking to the plan. And I think we got really good coaches that coach the right things and coach it the right way. And obviously we play in a good schedule and give them the atmosphere to go explode. And I think that's why you've seen a lot of success.
How much of that, though, the window's so short for coaches nowadays, with opening up and getting a guy, getting familiar with the guy. How much that process is it's a quick process. I mean, how much of that do you have to really kind of trust in your recruiting guys and everything like that to give you information?
At the end of the day, it's on you. I mean, you've got to have knowledge of the outside, the inside, maybe some past history, know the right question to ask, because it's a sped up process. So I think smart people win. Physically? I saw the name tag. There's two things that could be there. They're moving offices.
I was about to